And let me just say this. The best women in this world are going to be the most difficult and complex. There is no way you are going to find an easy woman that is worth your while. There is just no way. And if you take that difficulty and the complex aspect of who she is and turn it into her being crazy, then you need to just go find a basic woman. Because around here, the difficult women are the ones who are going to show the most emotion and pour the most love into you. They're the ones that are going to take a house and make it into a home. They're going to take anything that you give them and multiply it. They're going to provide in that way. They're going to give you children. They're going to give you food to eat. They're going to make a house a home. And it's not going to be easy. The women who are looked at as difficult and complex are the ones who have the most love inside of them to give. And if you can't handle that, once again, go find a basic one.
I don't believe I heard you correctly.
Excuse me? Oh, this is where I say, hell no! What are you talking about, woman? That the most difficult women are the ones that give the most love. No, they're the ones that give the most headaches. Let me let you in on a little secret, because you obviously didn't get the message. Men don't want these challenging hard women because their lives are hard enough already. You women just give up headaches, nagging, all kinds of crap, everything a man doesn't want. That doesn't make you desirable. You don't build homes, you destroy homes. You're the ones who nag a man to their graves or simply put out for divorce. What are you talking about that you're going to give a man a home, that you're going to give him food? He's the one who's going to be buying everything. So supposedly your fights, your arguments, your difficulties are the amazing gold pieces that men must look for in a relationship. If not, they got to go find a basic woman. Well, 9 times out of 10, they're going to go get a basic woman. Want to know why? Because a basic woman should be smart enough to say when a man gets home, hey, how was your day? It was pretty tough, wasn't it? Here, sit down. Here's a beer. Here's a meal. How about let me massage your shoulders? And those men know that they're coming back to a peaceful, quiet, clean home that this awesome basic woman took care of. With no headaches, no fights, no arguments, nothing complicated. What you need to do is take your complicated butt on down to the pet store and stock up on that cat food. You're gonna need it. Before we move on, I want to bring attention that 70% of my viewers are not subscribed to my channel. Come on, fam. You've seen my logo on other channels, and you're already here. Please hit that subscribe button and support the channel. It really helps out. Moving on.
Oh boy. So as a woman who has attracted a bunch of her past partners because I was independent, I'll tell you right now that men like the idea of an independent woman, but very rarely like independent women in practice. What do I mean by independent? Well, all that really means is that kind of a woman can live without a guy, can support herself, create a happy life for herself, do whatever she wants without a man around. So in reality, independent women really require men to step up and be good partners. Because if we can do it alone, why would we let some clown into our lives? But I think a lot of men find the term independent to be code for I can be inconsiderate, I can be selfish, I cannot show up and she won't care because she's doing her own thing. Men love the idea of strong women, of independent women until they start getting called out by them. Until those behaviors start becoming a clear inconvenience to them because they were able to get away with a bunch more with other people they dated in the past. Men like to chase independent women. They don't like being held accountable by them.
She's going to sink, Captain.
But she can't sink. She's unsinkable.
She can't float.
You know, fam, I'm starting to develop a theory here. I believe that these women who are headaches just love to say, I'm strong and independent as in code as to justifying them being a total pain. I mean, she said that in reality, independent women want men to step up and be good partners. No, first of all, a man is going to say to you, hey, I want to be your man, not your partner. If you're going to do this 50-50 kind of crap, it's always based on what you want to do. Your version of 50-50, not actual 50-50. Because no matter how much I do, you're always going to pull out of your rear end some frickin' way left field excuse saying, no, I'm actually doing more, even though you're really not. And let me tell you something, sister. No, men don't love this idea of strong, independent women. That is some high-level copium that you, masculine women, came up with, shove it in a video, upload it straight up to TikTok, yeah, push it out to the masses of the female echo chambers out there, and all these women buy it up because misery loves company and copium is addictive. Men don't like masculine women. Men don't care about you paying your bills. Congratulations, you're an adult. And this thing about men like to chase independent women and not being held accountable to them. On the flip side, just because a man asks you out for a date doesn't mean he chases you. If you're a submissive woman, guess what? He's going to ask you out there on a date too. In fact, men prefer submissive women. I swear that you queens will come up with the most outlandish thing to justify the headaches that you are going to bring in the future for these men. OMG, this gorilla feels so sorry for these cats. Apart from investing in cat food and box wine, I think we should start developing a new science for the cat whisperers. I believe a lot of felines are going to need therapy in the next coming decades. Moving on.
I don't care what anybody says, but men love mean women. They want a mean girl. They don't want no soft girls anymore. As much as they swear up and down that they want a nice girl, that's not the truth. And I'm speaking from experience. I am such a nice lover girl, and that always bites me in the I believe in treating your man like a king, making sure he feels good. Something about making a man feel good makes me feel good. Like, oh baby, you had a long day at work, go lay down, let me give you a massage. You didn't eat today? Go ahead and watch your favorite TV show, I'll make some dinner while you relax. But no, guys don't want that. Guys want a mean girl. Guys want a girl that don't give a Guys want a girl that's gonna be like, okay, you had a long day at work, and so what? Can I have your credit card so I can go to the store and buy me the shoes that I wanted? Oh, you didn't eat lunch today? Neither did I. Can we go out to a restaurant? I'm hungry as Those are the girls that they're actually looking for. It's like, no matter how hard I try, I can't be a mean girl. So I guess I'm just gonna be single forever. Oh well.
Ho, ho! Fiction can be fun.
Oh, really, Colleen? You claim to be a nice girl, but then as soon as you finish saying that you're a nice girl, you curse like a sailor? Somehow, I don't think you are as nice as you pretend to be. More like a rose who shows her pretty side in a video like this one, but then your thorns come right out. Everything that you said that you should be offering a man, as in, yeah, sit down, take it easy, have a massage. Yes, men actually like that. But you come out and say, no, they just want a mean girl, and you can't be mean, so you're going to be single forever? Somehow I'm just not buying this. Okay, hold up a second. If anything that you said was actually true, you wouldn't make this video. On one hand, if you were a nice girl, you wouldn't bother making this video to try to smear anybody. That's a check against you. And if being a mean girl gets you the man, again, you don't need to make this video because you just be mean and you got the man. So somehow you're telling the whole world that being good or being mean is not working out for you. What's the common denominator? You. Trust me, sister. Men don't need headaches. They get plenty at work. They don't want anyone to come home. Moving on.
Pick me girls never win because men see through that. Dark feminine women will always win because men don't like a doormat, okay? You're either a dream girl or you're a doormat. Do you want to be a doormat? Men always push their luck in a relationship with women. They do. They will see how far they can push you and see if you still come running back. And these pick me girls, they come running back no matter what they do. They need a woman with respect and boundaries who says, this is not okay, you're not going to do this or you won't see me again. And it's not a threat or ultimatum, you just leave it. So many girls message me saying they blindly agree to whatever the boyfriend says, they let him do whatever he wants, but he still dumps them, he still cheats. Why do you think? Because you are not setting boundaries and you have no respect for yourself. Get some self-respect. A man can smell a woman with no respect from a mile away, and again, you will be pushed and pushed until you can't take any more.
Who hurt you?
All right there, my chest tatted up Colleen. Let me explain something to you. You can set boundaries, and this gorilla will agree that women and men have to set boundaries on each other. There's no argument there for me. But the difference is, men will set a boundary saying, hey, don't do this, all right? I don't like this. Women's ideas of boundaries are not like you say, where, hey, I'm going to leave. Well, before you leave, what you do is you set up a boundary that may or may not be reasonable, and you think of it as a green light to start to nag, bother, and complicate the man's life. And certain boundaries that you set are just ridiculous, especially in younger relationships. Oh, you can't post on social media, but I can. Boundary. You like this girl's Instagram. I'm going to nag the hell out of you. Oh, you spend too much time working. I want to spend time with you. So when you get home after a long day's work, I'm going to start fights. Oh, you're not giving me enough attention. I'm just going to start even more fights to get more attention out of you. These are brilliant ideas that women come up with, thinking that this is how they enforce their boundaries. And all the while, you're just putting a wedge between yourself and your man. Why don't you try this radical idea, like working with him, rather than try to make his life more complicated? What am I saying? It's just so much easier to just break up the relationship, drop those divorce papers, and ride the carousel again. Right, sweetheart? Moving on.
Here's something I'm not proud of. In my 20s, I was very adamant that women were crazy. And I think I said this because every man around me was always talking about how crazy women were. I remember my dad talking about my mom and saying things offhanded before they got divorced. Like, oh, did she take a pill this morning or something along those lines? And me internalizing that, right? And then I became a teen and all these guys were like, oh, she's you're crazy, right? Like they're telling all these women that they're crazy and they're telling each other that they're crazy and even telling me, right, that they're crazy. And so then I started to internalize like, yeah, women are crazy. We're all nuts, right? We're all different kinds of nuts, but we are. And that's just how it is. That's how women are. And so I even went as far as like, I told everybody in my 20s, yeah, like women are crazy. If you want to get married, if you want to have a good relationship, you just pick your kind of crazy. You pick which crazy you like, which version of it do you want to live with for the rest of your life. You're not going to find someone who doesn't have a little bit of that in her. And I remember saying this to my girlfriends and to my guy friends and just being like, yeah, guys, like it's important to have things that you want in a partner, but if you're looking for somebody who's not quote unquote crazy, then you're probably not going to find that.
Sorry. The voices.
Okay, let me make this clear. This gorilla's not saying that women are cray-cray. So I don't want everybody going around saying that, yeah, Gorilla Man has put the official seal on that one. Nope, that's not true. What I am going to say is that many men say the stereotypes that women are cray-cray. And if they put that stereotype out there, it's for a reason. And let me be specific, ladies. It's not because they have PhDs in psychology, so they're qualified to put the cray-cray seal on you. That's not it. The reason men say that women are cray-cray is because of their interactions with women, okay? Let's make this very clear. When a man has to go out into the world and he's challenged and he has to fight everybody and he's exhausted, he wants to come home, to peace. But when he comes home and then he starts receiving arguments, nagging, pettiness, all kinds of things because you may feel lonely, or you may think that in doing this you're going to get more attention from him, or maybe you're having a hormonal day, whatever it is. Men are just going to say, hey, you know what? I'm just going to wrap this up in the loony bin box and I'm going to call it that from here on out. So I would venture to say that this stereotype comes from their experience of coming home to dealing with you women. And another stereotype that even you women say about yourselves is that you want a man that can handle you. That goes hand in hand with that first stereotype we just talked about. You see this, how this isn't an exact science, but how men draw these lines with these correlations? But let's hear what else she has to say.
And that's because I had gone so far as to think that it's impossible that we aren't crazy. That of course we are. Everybody's saying we are, so we must be. And now I know, in my 30s, that we're not crazy. Those were words that were used to devalue us, to dismiss us, to diminish us. They are there to make women feel crazy. But we're not crazy. That's what I've learned. We're not crazy. The world has conditioned us to believe that being a woman is inherently crazy. The things that women want, the emotions women have are crazy. They're not crazy. They're completely normal. The difference is men have been taught to suppress their emotions, pretend that they don't exist unless it's anger, and then that one's allowed, right? Anger and violence, totally fine. Emotions, God, no. Being crazy is totally normal because we're not crazy. That's not a thing, okay? So if you, like me, have used that language against yourself or your friends or other women, I encourage you to really step outside of yourself and try and think, are we crazy? Or have they just told us we're crazy?
Men telling women that they're cray-cray is a form to devalue, dismiss, and diminish women. That's a two-way street because that's something that women do all the time. They love to emasculate men, devalue him, and diminish his feelings. I'm sorry. This isn't a one-way street where you're the victim the whole time. Although women love to play the victims and don't like to be held accountable for their actions. And let me make this clear. Men don't suppress their emotions because they don't think they don't exist. There's actually a method to the madness here. They suppress their emotions in front of women because most women are not empathetic to a man's emotions because you ladies don't live the male experience. You do not go through life on the hard mode that men do. You live life on an easier setting. And I also have to say that too many women love to weaponize a man's emotions and secrets against him when they get further down the line. It's like you want a man to open up and tell you everything, and the ones that do, you make a mental note and you say, okay, when it's time to strike back, we're going to use this against him. Sorry, Queens, you're not innocent of that either. And I also have to say that verbal anger and violence is something that women are equally guilty of doing. Again, you're not the 100% victims there, sweetheart. You queens aren't innocent of that by a long shot. Just ask Johnny Depp. And yelling at your man in private while producing some fake tears in public is a female emotional manipulation tactic that 99.9% of all women have mastered. Then if you step back and you think about it, when men experience all this stuff with women and they just wrap it in that loony bin box I mentioned earlier, you get offended by it. But you don't stop to recognize exactly why that is. You quickly want to put yourself back in the oh, woe is me box. Sheesh, next thing you know, you strong independent queens are going to demand alimony after divorce because somehow you're both empowered and oppressed. Who would have figured?
Show of hands for everybody who knew. Bingo.
I'm just saying, if you enjoy this audit, click on the video in the end screen for more content. If you would like to support the channel, please follow the link in the description to donate to our beer fund. Or like, subscribe, and share this video on other social media platforms. If you agree or disagree with anything about this audit, please let us know in the comments. I'm going to leave this audit right here. I'll see all of you in the next episode.